This is Steger from BIS 236, and this is my final Let's Play. The game that I'm playing is Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. It was released in 2007. Conceptually, it's kind of just based about modern wartime efforts. The storyline is kind of based around the Middle East and Russia creating ties and us mediating the situation and trying to take back power in those areas of the Middle East, Europe, and Russia. So I mean, it's pretty straightforward. The game is a first-person shooter game, which means that the gamer takes the perspective of the person shooting. The controls, there's 3 positions: crouch, standing, and in motion. And the controls, reloading, shooting, picking up stuff, all that is controlled by the game console. Basically the objectives of the game vary. There's tons of different levels, checkpoints, objectives, like things that you have to accomplish, and you're basically rewarded essentially by the amount of kills, the accuracy of the kills, the speediness of level completion. All those things give experiential points. Also, on another note, there is multiplayer campaigns, where you link up online and get together as a group to pursue a certain objective. I'll talk about that a little later too as well. But I'm kind of like, for this Let's Play, like critically engaging with the game from the frame point and the lens of James Paul G. And in his writings, he discusses how games have the ability to kind of implicitly or explicitly teach us various semiotic domains. So, for example, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare kind of teaches us how to thrive, survive, flourish, and navigate wartime areas and wartime situations. And, in that, then, if we are implicitly learning these things through games, like, it kind of is a question of what are games like this teaching us then. Also, on another note, outside literature as well kind of supports the same idea of a queer theorist by the name of Nikki Sullivan wrote an article called Queering Popular Culture, where she discusses too that when engaging with any form of media, television, movie, video games, that we are more than passive recipients of that information, and that we actually end up recreating or replicating it in some form. So like as you move about, you can kind of see in this game, like, be asking ourselves, what is it teaching us? What is it valuing as well? So if the amount of points that I receive or the better weapons that I receive is on the amounts of kills that I produce, there's kind of a reward system there that creates a belief that those are positive things. Possibly even alluding to the fact of depleting senses of empathy and compassion. Because if you have a positive association with killing, or the amounts of kills that you do in a certain amount of time, you kind of there's this possibility for the desensitization towards violence and empathy and compassion. So, it's kind of an interesting thing to actually keep questioning, keep wondering about. The other thing too that's interesting and unique about this game is Call of Duty, the original ones, are sorry, I'm just kind of trying to play and do this at the same time. The original Call of Duty was in World War II. So in terms of semiotic domains, that game gives you a frame of reference into a historical domain, right? Whereas with these games and all the offshoots of Call of Duty, the Modern Warfare offshoots, they provide a unique perspective of either perpetuating or even kind of producing the understandings of such areas. And what does that imply? It possibly implies stereotypes that the people from Middle East, Russia, all people like that are terrorists. And when engaging with these people, this is what it would be like. Also, it implies, there are a lot of subtleties that a present day war game kind of creates understandings about in regards to these situations. So it's all things to keep in mind when we're thinking about these things, and actually to critically engage with all media that we come across with. I think would be a big point of this assignment. Understanding that we aren't only passive recipients of such information, and that when learning such things, there are other learning, or when playing such things, there are other learnings that are taking place. I think another good thing to note too, kind of in closing as well, is that on the other hand, as Mark Chen stated in his writings, multiplayer campaign games like this one does have, the aspect of this one does have, do have group learning processes that can foster positive benefits. But at the same time, it's those learnings can be so implicit that the explicit visuals, I mean, look at this, the blood everywhere, killing people. I feel the explicit visuals can kind of trump those